Have you ever found yourself in that classic fitness trap? You know, the one where you want to be more active, but just the thought of starting feels, well, completely overwhelming because you feel so out of shape? Today, we're going to break that down. How our fitness level actually shapes our attitude, and more importantly, how to get out of that cycle for good.
Yeah, this one. Does this sound familiar? It's like the ultimate paradox, right? The very thing that would help you feel better is the one thing that feels totally impossible to start.
If that thought has ever crossed your mind, I want you to know something right now. You are so not alone. Seriously, this isn't some kind of personal failure. It's a massive, very real hurdle that tons of people are facing every single day.
In fact, it's so common we can just call it what it is, the out-of-shape trap. It's that frustrating place where you have the desire to move, but it feels like your own body is holding you hostage.
And honestly, it makes perfect sense. Why on earth would you want to do something that makes you feel exhausted or winded or maybe even a little clumsy? It's a completely logical reaction to avoid something that feels more like a punishment than a pleasure.
But here's the good news. There is a way out, and it's based on a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. It's called the fitness activity cycle.
So what is this cycle? At its core, it's just a positive feedback loop. This isn't about some huge dramatic transformation overnight. It's simply about how any movement, no matter how small it seems, starts to build on itself and create its own momentum.
Okay, let's just trace how this works in real life. It all starts with step 1. You just move a little bit more than you did yesterday. That's it. Then your body starts to adapt. That's step 2. You feel a tiny bit stronger, or maybe you're just not as tired. That leads right into step 3. The activity gets easier and maybe, just maybe, it even becomes a little fun. And that's the absolute key to step 4. You actually want to do it again. And boom, the cycle is turning.
But you know, the real magic here isn't just physical. The amazing part is how this cycle completely shifts your entire attitude, your entire mindset about being active. Let's dig into that.
First, your confidence starts to grow. Every single time you walk an extra block or do one more squat, you're gathering little pieces of evidence to tell you, hey, I can do this. That nagging voice of doubt starts to get quieter, and you become more willing to try new things.
And then something amazing happens. You actually start to enjoy it more. I mean, think about it. When you're not constantly focused on how out of breath you are or how much you ache, you can finally notice the good stuff, the music you're listening to, the nice weather, the fun of just moving. The struggle isn't the main event anymore.
All of these moments create this powerful chain of small wins. And these little victories are incredibly motivating. Things like not being winded walking up the stairs or keeping up with your friends. That's real, tangible progress you can feel, and it makes you want to keep going.
And finally, there's just less discomfort. Over time, movement changes from something you might dread, anticipating the aches and pains, into something that just feels normal. It becomes a part of your life you can do without that feeling of, ugh, this is going to be hard.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually get this amazing cycle started? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You have to find a starting point that feels right for you.
Now, this might be the most important piece of advice you hear today. You don't have to love it right away, but you absolutely cannot dread it. Forget about what you think you should be doing. The best activity to start with is whatever feels the most manageable and the least awful to you right now.
So let's get really practical. I want you to think back for a second. What's one physical thing you've done in your life that you actually enjoyed, even just a little bit? Maybe it was dancing around your room or just taking a walk in a park you like. Start there. Start with a good memory.
Or let's flip the script. What's something your body is already pretty good at? Maybe you have decent flexibility, or you can walk for a while without any trouble. Starting from a place of strength, from what you can do instead of what you can't, is such a game changer for your confidence. And what about a small, and I mean tiny challenge that sounds even a little bit interesting? I'm not talking about running a marathon. I'm talking about jogging for 2 minutes without stopping, or trying one of those 10-minute workout videos online. The key word here is tiny. Look at some of these ideas. None of them require a gym membership or any special equipment. It's all about weaving these little bits of movement into the life you're already living. A 5-minute stretch break, taking the stairs, those are the sparks that get the whole cycle going.
So really, it all just comes down to this. Taking that one single small step. That's it. That is all it takes to start the flywheel of this fitness activity cycle spinning.
And the most important thing to take away from all this is that fitness is not some exclusive club for people who are already in shape. This cycle works for everyone at every single level. Your starting point is just that, a start, and it is just as valid as anyone else's. The process is the same for all of us.
And before you know it, that old thought, that old story you told yourself about being too out of shape, it starts to fade, and it gets replaced by a new thought, a quieter, but much stronger and more confident one. I can do this. And that, right there, changes everything.